If you are new here, my name is Mimi and my family is the DMK family. This is Mylene and this is Kylie. Yeah, just confirming. If you are new here, please consider subscribing down below and turn on that notification bell so that you don't miss a single upload. And if you are returning, thank you so much for the continued support. Twins are here because the kids are going to be joining us in just a minute, because I do think it's better if they explain their side of the story. As you've seen on the description down below, this genuinely happened. It's not something that we just made up. And it's really scary. We were not going to even talk about it, but I feel like the way it happened and the way like it wasn't taken care of is what made us think we really do have to talk about it. Yeah, my love. The twinnies really wanted to join. Like as soon as we turned on the ring light, they were like, Weddy, you ready?
Ready.
Weddy. So you ready?
Ready.
Weddies.
Nana.
Nana, you want a banana? It was my brother's birthday a couple weeks ago, and we went to celebrate his birthday at the park. We had like a little get together there. Don't mind the twins back and forth again, mom life. This is the reason why I record outside, because this happened. So we went to the park and my mom, it wasn't nothing major, but we did have a few friends there. There was a few kids of the party, of our party there, just hanging around, my kids, my mom's, you know, it's a whole bunch of kids. And we noticed that like on the corner of, and I'm gonna see if I can insert a picture so I can kind of describe what corner I'm talking about. But in the corner, there was just a random guy standing there for the longest, kind of creeping over at our party. Like, mind you, our table was off to the side. Like that guy had no business being there. I mean, unless he was gonna come and say hi or like join for the carne asada. But regardless, he had no business being there. This guy looked a little creepy.
No.
Not me trying to stereotype him, but he was completely by himself with like a little children's backpack, standing there for the longest. Long story short, we noticed him and we all kind of like didn't say anything. We just kind of made eye contact. So then Manny approached him and asked him, by the way, Manny's not in the video right now because he's eating dinner. He has to be up really early for work. But Manny approached him and he was kind of like, hey dude, can we help you? You know, like, as in like, what are you doing here? And he was kind of like, oh, I'm looking for my kid. I can't find my kid or something. But it was weird to us because, mind you, he's looking for his kid, but yet he didn't ask anybody if he's seen his kid. He was just kind of there. And then Manny was kind of like, oh, well, your kid's not here, man. Like, sorry, you know, we can't help you. And he still stayed there. And then Manny just stood there like, bro, are you going to leave? So they were just both kind of there, awkwardly standing there. And we kind of got a weird vibe from this guy. Just because of, you know, him being there watching. Once that happened and we noticed that he didn't leave and he kind of kept on staring at the kids, let me backtrack real quick. So our picnic area was like across from the playground, so you could still kind of see the playground, but it wasn't like super close. Like we could just see it from the distance. So we told the kids, like, because they went back to play, and then we noticed the guy went over there yet with no kid and sat down on the playground like benches with no kids. Yet again, he's missing for his kid, but he's just sitting there very calmly. We told the kids like, hey guys, just keep your distance from this guy. If something creepy happens, let us know, speak up. And we spoke to all of the kids in the party because again, it wasn't a major party, so we were able to like let them know. Anyway, fast forward, like a few hours passed by, we were having cake or whatever, and then one of the kids from the party runs up crying. Like guys, I kid you not, he's screaming. And this is why I want the kids to be in it, but I just kind of wanted to get the major, like why this is so serious to me. And I'll talk after they explain their side of the story. But he runs up crying and he's like, what did he say, Ben? Like they're trying to take him? They're taking the little girl, they're taking the little boy. Yeah, they're like, they're taking him. And we're like, instantly we were all like, who's taking who? And he was like, that guy, he's taking the little girl. So instantly, guys, like I have a video that somebody in the party recorded the video and they sent it to us again a day after. And it's just, you can see everybody run up to this guy, and you can see Manny in the video approach this guy and telling him like, yo, like what's going on? Like, babe, what did you tell him?
Like, why are you asking kids if they want to have a play date? And like, why is he talking to our kids?
without further ado, I am gonna stop talking. I will get back on here afterwards to give my input, but I'm gonna have the kids tell you their side of the story, how this guy approached them, what happened, so that you guys can see how creepy this guy really was.
We wanted to say our part of the story because it was just a very scary experience. So basically it all started off where we were like all eating, and this random like guy came, and he was wearing like glasses, he was wearing a face mask. You couldn't really like identify him until like you really looked at him. He was wearing like this Lightning McQueen backpack, like a child's backpack. And I remember my dad saw him, and like he approached him, and I didn't really think much of it. I was like, okay, maybe it's just a guy, like a weird looking guy, but you know, just a guy. And then he walks away. I guess he was looking for a kid, and he goes to the playground and sits on the bench. And he was there for like a while. And then we finally went to the playground, and I just noticed that he kept like talking to like smaller kids, a bunch of like smaller kids that wouldn't think anything of a kidnapper or, you know, a bad person. And he would ask these kids like, hey, you want to go play date? Let's exchange numbers where we can hang out, or just certain things like that. And he wouldn't just speak in like a normal voice. He would change his voice to like a little kid for like they could approach him. And I overheard him talking to this little kid, and he's like, oh, where's your mom? And the little kid's like, oh, somewhere over there. And he's like, oh, okay, let's go have a play date.
He would change his voice like, guys, let's go on a play date.
To like seem appealing for like kids. And the weirdest thing that was like, that is not okay, he would get on the playground and go down the slides with these little kids. And they weren't even like his kids. Even if he was looking for a kid, we never saw him eventually find his kid or anything like that. And if he was looking for his kid, he would have called 911 or called somebody like what we did. Obviously not really looking for his kid when he's sliding down with other little kids. You just don't ask another person you want to go on a play date like without that parent's consent. So we found that weird, and we told our parents, and then my dad approached him. He's like, oh yeah, I was asking them for play dates. Like he didn't really see the full side of it. It did look like he was all there. Like he looked like a normal man that would change his voice to talk to kids. For those of you who think he might not have been all there, he was there. He was just smart about his actions.
I felt scared because when he said, do you want to go on a play date, I got like really scared.
And he wouldn't talk to like older kids. Like he would talk to like younger kids because obviously they're not that smart to know this. And there was like parents around, but he was like quiet, and he would change his voice, so they probably thought like, oh, my kid's probably talking to another kid. But none of the parents really cared, and so we went to tell our parents because it was scary.
We didn't go on the swings for a while, and since we weren't on the swings, my sister and my uncle, they accidentally forgot, and they started hearing him talking to other kids, saying, you want to go on a play date and stuff? And they ran and started telling all this stuff. And when that happened, he started like moving around the playground, making sure no one sees. Then they all went up to him, and and he had like a mask right here. He was like hiding it. It was like a black mask, and he just had his sweater in his hand trying to like cover it with his backpack. And his mask basically like covered his whole face, and he also had like glasses. He was wearing some earlier, but I don't think it's in the video. I just think it's weird that he was like trying to go in disguise with like a mask and like extra clothes in his like hands and stuff. Hope that he didn't take any kids, or that those kids are really his. Even the next day, I was still thinking about it, and I was still like scared.
And I'm gonna show you guys the video of Manny approaching this guy.
They ask you?
Yeah.
Oh, they ask.
And then his son came to us crying, so it's like, it's scary to you. The kid, you don't have to know which one. But he came up to us crying. So please understand the concern. If you're a parent, you would understand. That's what I'm saying. If you're a parent, you would understand, okay?
Yeah, I think there was some miscommunication.
Él no tiene un niño cuando vengo aquí y tengo yo otro niño.
So you guys can kind of get a feel of what this guy looks like. The reason why we decided to make a video of this is because When everybody and their mom from our party approached this man, I was not comfortable. I was scared, and I called the police. And I told them, like, hey, there's this guy, and I explained everything I just explained to you guys, who was creeping out our kids, you know, who's just been sitting there. Mind you guys, before this incident happened, this man, this grown man, had been sitting there with his little backpack in the playground area just watching random kids play for hours. We were there for hours, and he was just watching kids for hours. So I explained all of this to the 911 operator, and I said, this guy's weird. Like, he just approached our kid. This happened. You know, I explained everything that had just happened. And they told me, like, you know, what's your location, blah, blah, blah. I was, like, watching this guy as everybody was approaching him. And they told me they were going to send an officer. Mind you, we stayed there for, like, an extra 2 to 3 hours. And it became dark. It was, like, 9. No freaking officer showed up, like no police, nothing. You noticed that this guy was taking off in a van. Yes, a freaking van with 3 kids, and you will see the 3 kids in this video. So these are the 3 kids. I do not want to plaster strangers' kids on here. The reason why I am doing this is because, God forbid, these not be his kids. So this guy was getting in the van with 3 stranger kids that we don't know if they were his, because again, he was by himself, and all of a sudden he has not 1, 2, he had 3 kids that, if you notice, they don't all look, I mean, they could be adopted, but they don't all seem to be his kids. So Julio, my sister's boyfriend, calls the police to let him know that as he's getting on the van, he changes his clothes. Like, he put a white hoodie on, even though that's not what he was wearing. Like, what is the reason? If you're gonna take off, why do you need to change before you take off? Like, it was just so weird to me. Not only was I frustrated that I feel like the police did not care that there was a possible creep, or I don't even know, child abductor or child kidnapper or whatever it is on the loose. We were already calling back, like, hey, are you guys coming? But we also wanted to let them know, like, hey, he's in this kind of van and he changed out his clothes. So when we called the second time, they're like, we have an officer nearby, he's gonna be there anytime now. Mind you, we stayed there for what was it, like 30 more minutes or so? 30 minutes to an hour, nobody arrived. Guys, this is twice that we called the police, letting them know, like, hey, we are genuinely worried for these children. Just creeped up on our kids, and now he's taking off with 3 kids in a van, changing his clothes before he leaves. Like, okay, well, we have an officer on the way. This park was pretty far from our house. We got home, and I didn't get a call until about 11 p.m. And I can show the screenshot that they called me, but I missed the call. It was like 11 already. I tried calling the number, you know, to at least let them know what I seen, and I couldn't. Like, it was like, it would take me straight to voicemail. So then again, this all had happened without me had seen the video footage yet. The next morning that we woke up, David comes up to me and he's like, Mom, I'm still scared that this guy approached us, that we could have gotten kidnapped, or that, you know, something could have happened, and I'm scared that something did happen to those kids. Or, you know, we were kind of like, you know what, you're right. Like, why did nobody arrive? Why did nobody care? And I don't even know how it happened, but I decided, you know what, I have this video now. I know what kind of van he was in. Let me at least follow up with them. So I called the non-emergency number and I let them know what had happened the night before. They were able to track my call and everything. They're like, oh, we sent an officer, but nobody was there. And that's not true, because when the officer got there, we were already long gone. Like, this was already hours after it had happened. I just feel like if that was my kids that were missing or something, I would want somebody to like worry and do something, which is the reason why I'm sharing his picture on here. I'm sharing the kids' pictures, because if he is a weirdo like that, I wanted to at least be known, since the police clearly didn't seem to care. Maybe the kids are recognized. I don't know. They tell me, oh, we're gonna send an officer to your house so he could talk to you guys, whatever. The officer never arrives. They call me instead and they're like, okay, let me know what happened. And I told them what happened. I explained why I was so concerned. I told them I have video footage if you want to see what these kids look like, what the guy looks like. And the lady was like, okay, well, can you send me the footage via email? And I was like, okay, let me see the email. Mind you, Manny was there with me. It was on speaker and I wrote down the email. I confirmed the email. I sent the email with I was like, this is the description of the van, this is what he was wearing, these are the kids. I circled out the pictures. I can show you guys everything. I can show you guys the emails so you guys can see that it did not go through. It said that the email was not valid. So I thought maybe I missed something up. Let me change up a letter. I tried so many different emails, none of them went through. So I personally feel like they just really didn't care for these videos. They didn't care. I feel like they didn't find the severity of the situation. And again, I feel like that is crazy because if that was my kids, I would be livid. I feel like if these were my kids and somebody had reported that they seen some suspicious activity and they didn't look into it, I would be so upset because every day, every hour is crucial. Is it me exaggerating? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Like, guys, literally, like, we call the police not once, we call the police twice. This guy literally creeped up on us, changing his voice to talk to kids. Like, he took off with 3 kids that didn't look like they were his. If you look at the image I circled for the officer, they do not, maybe one of them could be his, but the other ones didn't. And then why would he have to change before he entered his vehicle? I don't know, I just feel like a lot of these things don't add up. When Manny approached this guy, he wasn't like, what? No, he was like, oh yeah, I just wanted to have a play date with them. That's weird. That's not normal. Like, I don't feel like these kind of people should be at the park. And I feel like the police should take it a little bit more serious. And I really hope I don't get in trouble for this video, but at the end of the day, I'm not doing anything wrong. I tried doing what I could. I called them, I left them emails. I didn't have to be involved. And I just find it a little weird how like, well, ma'am, what's your name? What's your birthday? Blah, blah, blah. As if I had done something when I'm like, I'm just trying to let you guys know, like, you never know. So anyway, I did want to share his van, what he looks like. I, again, didn't take good pictures because that's the last thing you do when something like this happens. You don't think, let me record for YouTube. But I am so thankful that Ephraim got footage of this man so we could at least see what he looks like, so that we could see what these kids look like.
Well, other than that, we hope this video helps you just to stay alert and to, you know, be more cautious of the people around you.
We're sorry that this video was a little different. We just wanted to catch you guys up on this.
Don't forget to like,
Comment,
share, and subscribe. David,
Kimmy,
let's hit him with another one.